Hi, it's Charles at Empress Mills, and today we're taking a closer look at quilting fabric double-edged border prints. They are something that we receive lots of questions on here at Empress, and those questions tend to focus on two key areas. The first being, how is the design itself laid out on the fabric? So how does it work in terms of width, length, fat quarter cuts, things like that? And secondly, the uses. We all know about the use of double-edged borders for borders around quilts, for example, but I often talk about them for cushions and dressmaking and things, and I know that's caused some queries, so we've actually got some wonderful samples here to show you as well on that front. But first and foremost, how is it laid out on the fabric? So it is the width of the fabric. If I just open this up so we've got the full width. It's a quilting fabric, so that's 110 centimetres, 44 inches wide, just to give you some scale. So that's the width of the fabric there. And all you've got with the double-edged border is a design. It's usually a graded in colour design that starts at one edge, starts at one border of the fabric and works its way to the centre line of the fabric, and then at the opposite side, it's always the same design, starts at the other side, comes in and meets in the middle of that centre line. So you've got two tracks of the same design divided bang in half down the centre of the fabric. So just to be super duper clear on that, the length of the fabric, if you were to order 3 metres, for example, would run away from me. So you'd have a 3 metre length coming towards the camera, and you would have the same design down both sides, so lots of the design to work with. Now you've seen it like that, I'm sure this makes perfect sense, but you will see it works absolutely perfect with fat quarters, which, here's one we've cut earlier. That is a fat quarter cut of the design. So absolutely, it's a question that we receive a lot. Yes, fat quarters do work fine with double-edged border prints, and you do receive a perfect element in it. So just to put that roughly into perspective of where it would sit on that fabric, that's been cut from approximately there. So as you can see, it works absolutely fine. And yes, that is indeed all there is to it really, but I know we've always struggled in emails putting that into text and sort of explaining, so I hope that's been useful, sort of seeing it like that. In terms of uses, very much double-edged borders tend to be a favourite for quilting projects. We've all seen them around the side of quilts, for example, users panels, things like that. But I know I've caused some confusion by chatting about them for dressmaking projects and indeed cushions. So from the dressmaking point of view, we've got a wonderful customer, Andrea, and she actually runs a business called Handadu. Sorry, she'll be laughing at when she sees this, Handadu. And she has created this wonderful dress using the Tomptons, I think this is from the Forest Friends range, the Tomptons Forest Friends double-edged border. And as you can see on this dress, the border print starts at the bottom, it grades upwards towards the waistline, and actually it's only in the centre of the dress does that panel itself finish. Now on the top element of the dress, that's just using additional fabric from the same range, which is the bonus when you're working with a double-edged border. 9 times out of 10, they come from a larger fabric collection. Tomptons, for example, there's an additional 15 fabrics in that range that you can choose, and they will blend wonderfully with the design if you so wish, if you need an additional element on, say, a dressmaking panel like this. That's all part of the double-edged border element itself, used right up, in fact, right up to the waistline of that dress because of the width you've got in that whole piece of fabric. So that's what we're seeing used on the dress, just there, just to give you a little bit of a feel. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about dressmaking projects with this. You can also use it for skirts. It's no need to be a larger dress project. Mum has just popped this together, Christine if I'm being formal, but Mum has popped this quick sample together using the exact same fabric just to show you the interplay between the two options, and this cuts off much sooner. And then we've just got some simple waistband elastic. We've actually just pinned this on, but that's all you would need to do. Pin it on and a quick stitch, and it would be ready as a skirt. But you can also use the full depth of that border if you so wish to either go down the dress route, or if you wanted to choose only a smaller section. That's what, let me move this Tomptons. Whoops. That's what we've done here. And so you can see you've got a different size option, length option there. And that just comes down to personal preference where you basically want to attach that waistbanding. But it is super, super simple. I actually even helped Mum with these, which was It's a new one for me. I'm not the best at these kind of things normally. But I hope that just gives you a feel for the ease of attaching either a waistband. You can go slightly more complex. It just becomes more down to your personal preferences. The other thing that I often mention are cushions, and that becomes a much more simple sort of idea where you could just cut it almost as a square panel or a rectangular panel. You can obviously square it off usually, but you can use those sections wherever you see fit and just use that straight away onto a cushion, and it gives you a lovely set. And again, the real bonus of that is you can almost have it moving along the design, which is quite a nifty idea, particularly the Thompsons on a Christmas sort of theme. But yes, I hope that's been useful. So in terms of the design layout itself, it's very much parallel design that comes and meets in the middle of the fabric. And in terms of use, is wonderful for quilting, like we'd all expect around the borders of quilts, for example, and things like that. But then also dressmaking, cushions, and things along those sorts of lines too. I hope that's been useful. If you've got any further questions, please, I do encourage you, get in touch, leave a comment underneath the video. You can phone us, email us, anything at all. We will of course get back to you. We are delighted to help with these kind of things, so please do keep suggestions and indeed questions coming. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.